here today to begin a body of work that we're both going to be supporting each other with going forward. And we need to put some context around it without just appearing out of nowhere, so to speak. So this is Helen Jane Rose.
Hello.
And I'm Ged Ferguson. And we're here primarily to talk about Helen's book, The Coming Times, and the subsequent work that's going to come from that.
Okay, so we should probably explain that the book was written through automatic writing, which found me. It was something that I started to do a long time ago.
So automatic writing, for the viewers that are sort of on the spirit path, will understand that as a form of channeling, and there are lots of different forms of channeling. But can you explain what automatic writing is, how that arrived into your life? Where were you? What happened?
It started for me when I was going through quite a difficult time, and I was seeing a counsellor, and the counsellor suggested that I do an exercise called inner child healing. And the exercise is where you ask a question with one hand, like your not so strong hand, and then the other hand replies, and you're supposed to get into your hurt child that wants to kind of speak to you and wants to feel heard. But then what happened was, instead, I wrote all this really out there, really wise wisdom telling me how to heal myself. It wasn't from a child, it was and that is how it started for me.
And was this in a group workshop, and were other people doing automatic writing as well?
No, it wasn't. I was seeing a counsellor, one-on-one sessions once a week, and he suggested that I'd start doing this exercise. So I went home, followed my instructions, got my book out, got my pen out. It was pen and pad, and just started writing. And then what happened was, it obviously opened up this ability, much like with musicians and a lot of creatives. They say they get into that flow where they're not consciously aware of what they're creating, and all of a sudden it's like they've made music, or they've written something really beautiful, or they've sung something beautiful, and that's how it's happened. But it just so happened that it was guidance. So it was guidance on a page telling me what to do, which didn't go down that well with the counsellor. And I came back to him and said, I know what I need to do now.
Was he a bit freaked out by that?
Yeah.
Were you a bit freaked out?
It was weird. I was in awe of it. I was like, oh my word, what's going on? I wasn't actually freaked out. I was excited.
Can anyone learn how to automatically write?
Yeah, I think that anyone can learn to automatically write, because we've all got a higher self, a soul, however we want to describe that. And that soul or higher self wants to communicate with us for the best for us. And so, absolutely.
So how if someone was really keen and excited and maybe has even touched on it themselves, how would you encourage them to develop that to unfold for them?
Oh, that's a good question. I think I'd encourage them first of all to start to meditate, start to take time out to be present. Because if I think about it, I was meditating. So part of my healing practice was every day to meditate. And I think that possibly, thinking about it, I think that did help to draw me away from the external and draw me more inwards. And I think that is definitely one important criteria, that we have to have that discipline to create that space within us to allow, because our mind has to step aside, otherwise it's interfering. So I think meditating, and then I think being curious, start the conversation, start to believe that there's an inner wisdom within us that wants to help us. And I guess start that conversation. Just journaling is probably a really good way of starting as well, building up that relationship. It's like building up an inner relationship with yourself initially, and then you don't know where it's going to go.
Did you intend to write a book from that point then? Was that in your mind, or were you just writing to help yourself? What was your thought process around that?
Oh gosh, I really wasn't thinking about writing a book. I mean, I do have a background in journalism. That's where I started out. So writing has always been my love. But I'd never thought about, at that stage, I'd never thought about writing a book. No, I was just, I suppose it can be known as like downloading, where you just write streams and streams and streams and then you read back. And that's how it started for me. And I became, I suppose, for want of a better word, I became obsessed with doing it. Like, I took a lot of time out, like in the evenings and stuff, I'd just write and write and write. And at that time, it was more selfishly to help me. It was like helping me heal, actually. That's what was happening. Yeah.
So are you looking at developing any other style, or are you happy with this?
Well, I feel like because I've been doing this way for so long, where I write and then read back and genuinely think, whoa, like, how is that? So weird. It's like, how is that on the page? Like, it's wisdom that I have to then learn. Like, I'm catching up with it. It's not something that is in me. I'm contradicting myself. It is in me because I'm writing it from inside me, but I'm Helen. My mind, Helen, is like catching up with it. And so I've got that confidence to write automatically. So that's my preferred, that's what I feel that I've almost like been in training to do, to bring these messages through. Like other people are training to use their voice more. I feel like I'm supposed to be writing.
It's your mission.
Yeah, that's what I feel like. And I've hidden from it.
Well, people listening may or may not have gathered by now that we're partners, not just in work, but in life.
We are.
And that's, a beautiful blend of masculine, feminine energies that has, let's say, stirred up our work together in interesting ways. And my curiosity and probing and questions for you has steered you to delve into the past and work that you've already done around your original channelings, the original work that you've written down. And our intention for the coming year has always been to offer something new, but there's clearly a connection to the past. So maybe can you expand on that? Can you explain how that's unfolding for you in terms of what the old channelings that you've created and how that you've seen that form into the book?
Yeah, so until we really started talking about it. So to give some context, I wrote the book. I put the final book together during lockdown and then got it out and then kind of just put it to one side because I've had to grow into kind of being comfortable saying, yeah, I do this out there thing, because that's been quite a big thing for my own self-growth to be able to just, and you've really, really helped me with that. And I'm really grateful for that. And so now I'm trying to kind of follow through on it. And so we've been talking about, haven't we, like going forward, what I've been doing, but going back to the Coming Times, it was already there a long, long time ago without me realising it. Because way back in 2016, I didn't realise, but I'd put on Facebook, I just tried to honour what I was being guided to do, which was just put these writings out. Don't keep them on my page just to me, get them out there. So I just started writing them, and I was guided to call them World Affairs Truth Reports. And that was back 2016. And I only found that since we've been chatting over past couple of months. And I was like, oh my God, this is still there, in reality. How weird is that? And so then they became, because they were part of a massive stream of writing that I've been doing over the years, when it came to pulling this together, and I didn't realise I was pulling a book together, I naturally went back to those because they were part of, loads of other stuff. And so part of those writings made up the Coming Times. So yeah, kind of in answer to your question, it's been going on for quite a long time.
So journalism has been a part of your adult life.
Yeah.
All the way through.
Yeah.
So now you're a different kind of journalist.
Yeah, an out there journalist.
So, yeah, I imagine there was some backlash over the perception of journalism at some point in your life, I guess when you moved onto the spirit path. But it's all been part of who you are now, not to be discarded, not to be thrown away. So you've learned a skill set, maybe not agreed with the ethics of it, but it's now going to support you and help you in your new form of journalism.
Yeah, yeah.
So nothing goes to waste.
Yeah, which is what you've helped me frame, which is what you're brilliant at, and what you help people do all the time, is reframe things and realise that there's so much context for everything we do, right?
Always. I mean, that's my favourite part of the spiritual work, if you like, is repurposing. Nothing goes to waste. Pull everything back.
Yeah, yeah.
And so you said the Coming Times body of work was finalised in lockdown. So it began way before that, yeah?
Yeah, but I didn't, it's so weird, but I didn't really think about that. I just felt like in lockdown, that was when I always felt like the push, I need to go back on everything that I've done and put it together. I guess it was just a space and time. You had that space, you had that time. But so I wrote quite a bit fresh, but then there was quite a lot way back from 2016, talking about like stuff that was almost like happening now. Yeah.
So there's quite a hiatus from the original publishing date, completion of the book, the publishing date, to now. So you put it out there and then left it on the shelf, so to speak.
Yeah.
So why is it a good time now to revisit that?
I think for one, I'm realising that it will be important for certain people. It will really help certain people on this journey. And who am I to do that? To not speak about it and to hide. It's not, I've been working so hard to try and get over my mind and get over myself, and to surrender and to believe in purpose and believe that there is a reason why I've done this. And so that's part of your evolution too. You've set the book free, or the information in the book free now, because you feel free in yourself? I think so, and I think that's also part of us coming together and us realising that we're being guided to do things together. I guess for the spiritual follower, that people will receive this information and just accept it as normal because that's what they're reading about, that's what they're listening to. But for the new viewer, the new listener, in the introduction you talk a lot about deities that are not alive anymore and they're not in this realm. And one in particular was called White Bear from the Hopi Indian tribe. And you've validated this by researching the Hopi Indians. But there are other ones in there that are not verifiable, but they come through your channel and through your writing. So could you sort of explain how those deities arrived in your life, maybe in chronological order? Well, not to be exact, but no. Just a flavour of how they unfold. Yeah. So as I started doing this automatic writing, it felt like it was almost like somebody in particular was talking to me through me. And so I kept asking, where's this information coming from? And so that's when I wrote, this is White Bear. This is going to sound really out there, not to you, but it probably sounds out there to other people. But this is White Bear. We had a life together as Hopi Indians, and you studied with me, and I was, I was writing, I was the head of the Bear Clan, blah, blah, blah. And he was giving me some details and then saying, go and read up on your past life. And so that probably sounds out there to a lot of people, but it started to become more real to me. And I guess it started to help me pull that wisdom that he was trying to teach me. It was like he was trying to teach me through my own writing. And so I was then validating things that he was telling me. Like I got so many different books about the Hopis, and it became like almost like an obsession to read all about them and connect into that. And so I guess what was happening is it was helping me to trust myself and trust that for me, what was coming through was real. So that's how it started. And then at one point he said, I need to step aside now because somebody else is going to come through almost and start teaching you. And that's what happened. And I felt like I was sounds mental, but it felt like I was losing a friend. It's like, oh no, where are you going? Yeah, and then somebody else came through who I know a lot of people have probably heard of, like Saint Germain, and he started to come through, and we started to work together, and I sort of started. Yeah, it sounds really out there.
So do they say their name in your ear? Do you
No, it's all through writing.
Always writing.
It's always writing for me. Yeah, it's always writing. Yeah, I mean, recently it's developed differently.
And does it feel different, each character, when you write?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does.
And the context, the subjects, they're unique to those characters, are they?
I think so. I think what I've learned now I've started to learn more about like energy, feeling energy. I can feel it now. So it feels different.
So you've evolved from White Bear, so you're getting lots of information through automatic writing, and you're writing the World Affairs Truth Reports. And then this, not an individual entity, but a group came along. The ECC, is it?
Yeah. That
sounds like some cricket
team. I know. Like the Enlightened Conscious Collaboration. Yeah. And I guess I started to work with them.
And are they the main contributor to the Coming Times book?
Well, yeah, that's they were. And then halfway through the Coming Times book, I was kind of like introduced with the Divine Council, please refer to us as, and so that's from then on. It became the Divine Council. So
are they still with you today?
Yeah.
And the other characters are no longer around, or?
I feel like it's all part of the same thing.
Right. Maybe different aspects of the same consciousness.
That's what I feel like. It's It feels like different divisions of the same thing. Basically, just helping us all to try and come back to our true selves and to bring higher consciousness into everything that we're doing.
If you were to open the contents page, just to look at some of the headline chapters in there, they're quite startling.
Yeah.
And I guess I'll try and reassure any would-be readers already that if you continue to read the chapters through to the end, you'll find that they're very supportive, that they're not intended to cause fear or even raise fear. They're intended to bring awareness to a situation that's already here now and maybe likely to worsen or evolve in some way. But the book, for me, is designed and intended to help people through a change process. Would that be your perspective on it as well?
Yeah, it's tackling some quite heavy subjects in what we're actually seeing now. And I can remember some of the things that I wrote about, say, in 2016 that are now in the book that you're referring to. In fact, one of those chapters I didn't change at all. I didn't realise it was a chapter, but it's verbatim. I remember at the time thinking, oh my God, this is like, it actually made me feel fearful. And then when I started to write what was now the Coming Times, on the back of that, it was then giving other information from a soul perspective to understand, to look to see everything from a different perspective, that we can be in the fear, we're in it. There's, for anyone that can see that the world is not peaceful. And its message is about us becoming more peaceful within ourselves, to then have an effect on the world as a whole, which is quite a big out there message and self-responsibility. But when you start to really understand what it's saying, it opens up almost like a whole new world.
It's clear that there's a very personal journey that you've gone on, as well as the benefits of that benefiting the wider world, me included. So can you sort of explain that journey, your healing journey? Do you still continue to read the book yourself, or do you not bother? Do you not need to check in with that anymore? Because from my perspective, I can dip into, I'll take the book on a train and just choose a chapter and go, that feels like the right one to read today. Do you still do that, or is?
Yes, I do. Yeah, I do. I do that. Yeah, I definitely do, because I use it as, it's like a reminder. It helps me ground. And sometimes it helps to remind me of, like, there's certain exercises in the book that they gave me a long, long time ago that I used to use, particularly in times when I was going through some fairly difficult stuff, as we all go through, and we have to find our way through it. And it really helped me work my way through that.
There are many affirmations in the book throughout, and there's quite a collection of them at the end. Have they come from you, or were they automatically written?
They're automatically written. There is not a word in there that has come from, like, little me, as I say. It's like, I would never put anything, I wouldn't add anything in that I didn't think or know had come from in that flow. I know the difference. I've been practicing now for 20 years or whatever it was. I know the difference. I know. So yeah, the answer is they've come from guidance. They've come from guidance.
Yeah, I found them very helpful, and you can adapt them to your own.
Yeah, absolutely.
And with each one, like you say, they're asking you to make a choice.
Yeah.
A new choice. Yeah. And that's a constant theme throughout the book, is about choice. Yeah. And it's so present in the world at large at the moment, is making choices. We've been asked to choose between political parties and this side and that side, and this food and that food. I think what the difference with this book is, it's pointing you inside.
Yeah.
To choose for yourself.
Yeah.
To really discern what feels right for you.
Yeah.
And
yeah. And
and that will create change.
Mm.
When you're sovereign, when you're true to yourself, you're not listening to other people. Yeah. I mean, it's important to get guidance, but to encourage curiosity.
Yeah, and to strengthen that connection with ourself, to empower everyone to be true to them, so that everybody can be living how they actually want to be living, without the way we're told we should do. And there's so many people just bubbling, like waiting to be their true selves, but because we've been so conditioned that we have to be this way or that way, or we're not accepted.
So what's your barometer for truth? How do you determine what truth is?
So if I'm writing, my hands tingle.
Mm.
So my hands tingle. Mm. So even like now, just as I said that, they've started to tingle.
Right.
Yeah.
So you get clear feedback.
Yeah. Yeah.
And what would you suggest to people that maybe don't get, or not aware that they're getting clear feedback?
Say, please show me how I know what's my sign. Because I know some people say that they might feel like the top of their crown or they might feel a shift. Sometimes, so I might feel my hands tingling, but at the same time, it's so weird to explain it, but I feel like I'm expanded. Like I do feel this sense of peace. And then when it stops, I feel it, yeah. So we just have to find it. And I think we can ask. That's probably one of the biggest things. We mustn't be afraid to say, I don't know, help me understand this, because it's new, right? There's no guidebook telling us how to open up these gifts, or whatever we want to call them. It's like trial and error to find our way. And that's why I don't believe there's any right way for anybody. We have to find our unique way of being and doing.
I would actually call it a guidebook. Through navigating difficult times, stormy waters. But, feel into each chapter and throw away things that you don't like or disagree with.
Absolutely.
Most important, if you disagree with something, you disagree with it.
Yeah.
There's no absolute in this.
No, absolutely.
And it's interesting that the original body of work was called the World Affairs Truth Report, because that must have been challenging for you, because one person's truth might not be another person's truth. So have you fathomed what that means yet?
It still makes me feel uncomfortable. It still makes me feel uncomfortable because who am I to be writing World Affairs Truth Report? But actually, it's my truth as I'm presenting it. And that's what I'm come to make peace with, that I didn't create that name. That's the last thing that I wanted to be writing. And I've shied away from it. And so now it's like, okay, it's truth as I'm, not even that I'm perceiving it as what I'm writing.
So I guess that leads into what's coming next for Helen Jane Rose.
And for Ged Ferguson. So we are going to be doing a weekly World Affairs Truth Report, where weekly I write through automatic writing. I don't know what I'm going to be writing, but it's guidance, whether it's for that week or messages from, I think it's from the Divine Council, because that's what they're, but I'm still not 100% sure. But so I'll be writing a weekly report, and I'll write it and then I'll be reading it, because that's what I've been asked to do, to actually read it out. And then we'll be deciphering it. You'll be bringing your wisdom.
So you'll be reading it out verbatim, exactly as it was written. Yeah?
Yes, yeah, exactly, without changing anything. I'll literally be reading it. Yes, and then you'll be bringing
my perspective on it.
Yeah.
We'll be unpacking that. And for people to unpack that in a way that they choose.
Yeah, yeah.
Because my truth is mine, and yours is yours, and theirs is theirs. But I guess the encouragement is curiosity, to look from a wider perspective, look through a different lens maybe than they have been. Because in my work, in the sort of energy work that I do, there are two factors that, if they're diminished or absent in any way, cause physical pain, mental pain, emotional pain, and that's space and movement. And that's space and movement relating to everything, especially the mind. So if you've got a fixed opinion on something, that's a lack of movement and a lack of space. So if you're curious, even if it's just considering someone else's point of view as maybe that's their truth, then that allows energy to move into that open space. And then things can change from that perspective.
Yeah.
So I guess we're looking forward to helping people create space and movement, be curious,
Becoming more peaceful.
be excited about being peaceful, be excited about change. Don't get drawn into drama that's not yours.
Yeah.
If you've got things to deal with them.
Yeah.
But look at the opportunities that come with those. Reframing, repurposing, seemingly challenging issues, and understand that they're designed for our greater good.
Yeah.
So how can the world at large find you?
Through YouTube channel, The Coming Times, through my website, helenjanerose.com, through Instagram, Helen Jane Rose, and The Coming Times.
And you have a number of other books that we haven't mentioned in this conversation yet, but they're also available through the same sources?
Yeah. So To Fear of Love is my novel, and then The Secret Not Being Spoken About. So yes, they can be
also
found.
on Amazon. Yeah.
Yes.
In audio form as well as written.
The Coming Times is in audiobook form. The others aren't, but will be soon.
And The Coming Times available in other languages soon as well, yeah?
Yes, it is. At the moment it's being translated into Portuguese, Spanish, French, and I'm so open to any other languages if anybody would like to do that.
I've experienced your online sessions remotely where Helen unpacks, or you ask a question and then Helen will automatically write a response within the next few days and just either send that to you verbatim, or you can book an extended session and unpack that.
Yeah.
It's fabulous information. It comes from source, it's unaltered, and you'll get the answer that you may or may not want.
Yeah.
But you should get the truth.
Yeah. It's all for the purpose of of helping you to, maybe you need to reframe certain things at a certain point.
And we look forward to seeing you across the social media spectrum. Can't believe I'm actually saying that, but we look forward to unpacking the future World Affairs Truth Reports.